Welcome to Miss Pam Reads. Today we are reading Marigold and Grandma on the Town by Stephanie Calmenson, pictures by Mary Chalmers. Marigold and Grandma on the Town, story by Stephanie Calmenson, pictures by Mary Chalmers. Oh, look. Ta-da! It's a chapter book. So we have the hat on page 5, the wind on page 17, wonderful on page 37, and click on page 53. The hat. Marigold and Grandma were going to town. Would you like a new hat for spring? Asked Grandma. Will it have ribbons and flowers on it? Asked Marigold. If you want ribbons and flowers, you will have them, said Grandma. Grandma took Marigold to Duffy's department store. They went through the revolving door and up, up, up to the hats. There were big hats and small hats, square hats and round hats. There were lots of hats with ribbons and flowers. I like the blue one with pink ribbons and white flowers, said Marigold. The sales lady took the hat down and put it on Marigold's head. Oh my, something is not right, said Grandma. Let's try it this way, said the sales lady. She tucked Marigold's ears inside the hat. That looks better, said the sales lady. Do you like it? Marigold did not say anything. Don't you like the hat? Asked the sales lady again. Marigold just stood there. She could not hear a thing. I think I know the problem, said Grandma. She took the hat off Marigold's head. Do you like the hat, dear? Asked Grandma softly. Yes, I do, said Marigold. We will take it, said Grandma. And we would like to borrow a pair of scissors, please. Grandma paid for the hat. Then she cut 2 holes in it. That looks just right, said Grandma. Oh, yes, said Marigold. It's just what I wanted. Marigold wore her hat out of the store, and she heard every nice word that was said about it. The wind. Would you like to go to the park and feed the ducks? Asked Grandma. Yes, said Marigold. I will show the ducks my new hat. Marigold held her head up high. Whoosh! The wind blew Marigold's hat right off her head. My hat, cried Marigold. Grandma and Marigold ran after the hat. I will get it, said the pretzel man, but the hat flew to the right. This way. I will get it, said the lady selling newspapers, but the hat flew to the left. This way. I think I can get it, said a policewoman. She jumped up and grabbed the hat. Thank you, said Marigold. Let's put it in the box for now, Grandma said. Quack, 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 quack. Marigold heard the ducks. She ran to the pond. Hello, ducks, said Marigold. I have bread for you. She tossed some bread to the ducks. Whoosh! The wind blew the bread right back to Marigold. Marigold tried again, but the same thing happened. Go away, wind. First you blew away my hat. Now you will not let me feed the ducks, shouted Marigold. Try to make friends with the wind, said Grandma. I don't think the wind wants to be my friend, said Marigold. Maybe it does, said Grandma. Maybe the wind will help you make a wish. How? Asked Marigold. See those dandelions across the pond? Asked Grandma. You blow on a dandelion to make a wish. The farther the seeds fly, the faster your wish will come true. Marigold and Grandma hurried to the other side of the pond. Marigold picked the fluffiest dandelion she could find. See, she's picking a white one because it's the ones that are white that blow into the wind. Then she closed her eyes and said softly, "I wish I could feed the ducks." Marigold took a big breath and blew on the dandelion. Suddenly, the wind came up behind Marigold. Whoosh! The wind carried the seeds across the pond. Marigold smiled. "Grandma, my wish is going to come true right away," said Marigold. "Yes, it is," said Grandma. "The wind just had to be behind you to help." Marigold tossed the bread again. Whoosh! The wind blew the bread to the ducks. "Quack, quack," said the ducks to their new friend Marigold. "Thank you," Marigold said to her new friend, the wind. Wonderful. "I am hungry," said Marigold. "Me too," said Grandma. They walked into Henry's coffee shop. "Yoo-hoo, Henry, come and meet my wonderful granddaughter." "I will be there in a minute," Henry called. "I have told him all about you," said Grandma. A waiter led Grandma and Marigold to a table. "We would like 2 egg salad sandwiches, a cup of tea for me, and a glass of milk for my wonderful granddaughter," said Grandma. Marigold sat up extra tall. She wanted to look wonderful. "May I have a pickle, Grandma?" asked Marigold when their lunch came. "Yes, you may," said Grandma. Marigold put her paw into the bowl and swished it around. "Oh, Marigold," said Grandma, "please use a fork." "Sorry," said Marigold. "That was not a wonderful thing to do," said Marigold to herself. "I'm glad Henry did not see me." Marigold found a pickle and ate it in 3 bites. Hick, hick, hick. She had the hiccups. Hiccups were not wonderful. Marigold held her breath to get rid of them. Just then, Henry came to the table. "Hello, Marigold," said Henry. "I'm so glad to meet you." "Hick," said Marigold. Henry reached out to shake Marigold's paw. When Marigold reached out, hick, wham! Milk was everywhere. Marigold began to cry. "Don't worry," said Grandma. "It's all right." Marigold looked at her lunch. "I thought you were hungry," said Grandma. "I'm not so hungry anymore," said Marigold. "What is the matter?" asked Grandma. "I was trying to be wonderful, but I know I was not," said Marigold. "I think you are wonderful all the time," said Grandma. "Really?" asked Marigold. "Really," said Grandma. Marigold felt much better. Henry came back with a fresh glass of milk and a big piece of carrot cake. "I give carrot cake to all my wonderful customers," said Henry. Marigold looked at her carrot cake and started to smile. "Grandma," said Marigold, "will I still be wonderful if I pick up the cake with my paws? And if I lick the icing off the top? And if I get icing on my whiskers and wipe it on my sleeve?" "You will still be wonderful," said Grandma, "but you will be in big trouble too." "Then I will use my fork," said Marigold. She took a bite of the cake. "How is it?" asked Grandma. "Wonderful," said Marigold. Click. "Home again," sang Grandma and Marigold as they walked up Willow Street. They liked Willow Street. They liked to look in the store windows. Sometimes they went inside. There was Pete's Pizza, but they had just had lunch. There was My Little Card Shop, but they did not need any cards. And there was Say Cheese, the photo shop. "Let's stop here, Marigold," said Grandma. "I want a picture of you in your new hat." Do we have to? Asked Marigold. Marigold did not want to have her picture taken. It will only take a minute, said Grandma. Marigold made a grumpy face. She rolled her eyes way up. She pushed her eyebrows way down. She turned the corners of her mouth down to her chin. Grandma looked at Marigold and smiled. "That is a perfect face," she said. They walked into the photo booth. Grandma closed the curtains. "Would you like to put in the quarters?" asked Grandma. Marigold put the quarters into the machine. A red light blinked. "Ready," said Grandma. "Grumpy faces," click. "Silly faces," said Marigold, click. "Smile," said Grandma, click. "Hug," said Marigold, click. And that was the best picture of all. The end. Thank you for joining me for Miss Pam Reads.